Carter Brown's eyes flashed with the sinister light as he sneered, his voice cold and chilling.
Hey, what do I want? Didn't I just say I want to borrow your willpower space soul? I guarantee that as long as you obediently give up resisting and hand over your bodies, I will not touch a single hair on your bodies.
The idea of surrendering their bodies and energy seemed like a cruel joke. Energy was a mysterious force. Any damage to it could turn a person into a mindless puppet, just like those already invaded by the soul-devouring insect.
Humph, how dare you?
This is too much. You're asking us to hand over our energy. That's too despicable.
Aren't you afraid we will join hands to kill everyone from Celestial Vale here?
The crowd seethed with anger and vengeance, outnumbering Celestial Vale despite their strength.
Haha, do you think you bunch of useless guys can wipe us out? The only one who can threaten us is Elijah White from Topmost City. Once we severely beat him up, his energy will belong to me. Listen up, insects. Don't show them mercy and snatch all their bodies from me. Absorb all their energy and help me to cultivate.
Carter Brown's laughter echoed as the puppets of the Talents Alliance moved into action, their bodies under the control of the soul-devouring insect. At Carter Brown's feet, the giant scarlet worm exposed its razor-sharp teeth, while within its throat, the soul-devouring insect larvae fluttered like a tidal wave.
How dare they? Let's fight them to the death.
One of us must die today, so let's make Celestial Vale die with us.
The crowd divided their focus between battling the controlled super-region geniuses and warding off the soul-devouring insect. But in a moment of carelessness, dozens succumbed to the soul-devouring insect, losing control over their bodies and energy. Energy drained into the mother insect under Carter Brown's feet, feeding his growing power.
Ha 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 ha! This is great! Continue to nourish me. After I've consumed all the energy in your batch, I'll carry on with the next batch. Then my cultivation will be completed. Only you fools will believe in the so-called South Sea Dragon Meridian. So, what if there's a true dragon bone lying around here? There's no way you can make it move an inch. It's better to use that as bait to lure you here to nourish me instead.
Carter Brown's arrogance rang through the air, mocking their beliefs and strengths. Suddenly, a figure emerged, wielding a black warhammer that grew in strength.
How dare you set me up, Carter Brown? Go to hell.
With fierce determination, Elijah White charged towards Carter Brown, his warhammer descending like an ancient mountain. At that pivotal moment, Adam Carlson and Atkinson Green surged forward like lightning from behind Carter Brown. Adam's colossal fist shadow condensed into a massive force, hurtling towards Ning Qiansheng's warhammer. Simultaneously, Atkinson's sword glowed intensely, tracing a brilliant arc through the air with its sharp sword energy. The collision reverberated with a deafening roar. Ning Qiansheng's warhammer was forcefully knocked out of his grasp, sending him tumbling through the air in a series of uncontrolled somersaults. His expression twisted with a mix of fury and embarrassment as he struggled to regain his bearings. Adam Carlson, Atkinson Green, Iris Smith, and Elijah White, each formidable in their own right, now found their strength compromised by the insidious effects of the Guxin spirit-eating insect. Despite their combined prowess, they could not unleash their full potential. Elijah White, in particular, felt the frustration of being unable to match their coordinated assault.
How dare you, Carter Brown? Are you nothing but a coward, hiding behind others? Face me alone if you have the courage. Let's see who's truly stronger.
Elijah White's visage contorted with a mixture of rage and determination. Though Carter Brown sensed the provocation, a flicker of uncertainty crossed his features. He gestured curtly for Adam and Atkinson to stand down.
Fine, Elijah White. Let's settle this between us, one-on-one. Think your topmost city status grants you superiority?
I'll gladly rid myself of you.
Carter Brown's voice chilled the air, his palms converging to form an ethereal blade, almost transparent like glass. Zane Martell observed keenly, narrowing his eyes at the manifestation of pure energy. Could there be a martial arts technique focused on cultivating such energy? The energy blade sliced through the air with barely a sound, disappearing as swiftly as it had appeared. In the next heartbeat, Elijah White recoiled as if struck by an invisible force, his head seeming to implode under an unseen pressure. Agonizing pain gripped him as his mind felt like it was being torn apart.
Ah, my mind, my energy. No, no.
In a horrifying instant, Elijah White's head exploded outward, a gory spectacle that stunned all witnesses. The air around them seemed to thicken with shock and fear as they realized the extent of Carter Brown's formidable power.
The situation is deteriorating. I must secure the Dragon Bone and leave this place swiftly.
Zane Martell resolved within himself. The battle had escalated into a dire confrontation, draining the life force from those involved. Carter Brown's strength surged with every passing moment, fueled by the energy of his victims. Zane Martell understood the danger of lingering here any longer. The eerie nature of Carter Brown's attacks hinted at unforeseen consequences. A Guxan spirit-eating insect careened towards Zane Martell, only to be obliterated by the thunderous force of wind and lightning that surrounded him. A member of the Talents Alliance, driven by desperation and confusion, charged at Zane Martell with reckless abandon.
Be gone.
Zane Martell's voice was cold as he brandished the sky-killing sword. A flash of emerald light erupted from its blade, slicing through the charging assailant with deadly precision, cleaving them in two. The aftermath left the onlookers shaken, their minds reeling from the sudden and brutal turn of events. Carter Brown's dominance in the unfolding chaos intensified the atmosphere of dread and urgency that hung over the South Sea Dragon Meridian. The commotion was so loud it drew the attention of many puppets. They moved one after another, charging at Zane Martell, but he effortlessly killed them all. This time, he finally caught Carter Brown's attention. Carter Brown stared at Zane Martell indifferently as he advanced while fighting, a little surprised.
This Zane Martell guy seems rather capable if he managed to kill so many of my larvas. The three of you go and deal with him. Remember, I want him to stay by my side, so don't kill him. Let the larvas take control over him instead.
Adam Carlson, Atkinson Green, and Iris Smith, the top three of the Talents Alliance, nodded silently. They transformed into three shocking rays of light, charging at Zane Martell. A huge ice stick formed in the air and rushed towards Zane Martell. The extreme power of ice condensed into a layer of faint frost in the air, slowing Zane Martell's movements.
Are you trying to sneak attack me?
Zane Martell's expression changed, but he reacted just in time. He made a finger technique with one hand and showed his mission sword. Energy gathered from all directions as a 100-meter-long black remnant sword shadow streaked across the horizon like a meteor, colliding with the ice stick. In an instant, the ice stick and the sword shadow collided and dispersed. Before Zane Martell could catch his breath, a huge yellow fist shadow, mixed with a horrible and overbearing aura, grabbed at him. He struck out with the palm attack, blocking the fist shadow. The violent hurricane pushed Zane Martell dozens of meters away. Right then, an ear-piercing sound came. Streaks of dazzling sword energy burst out like raindrops. Zane Martell's expression changed drastically. He could only subconsciously wave his sky-killing sword to block the sword energy's attacks. Adam Carlson, Atkinson Green, and Iris Smith's attacks came so closely that there was almost no gap between each attack. They cooperated very well, catching Zane Martell off guard. He could only defend himself. Zane Martell blocked one attack after another. The sound of explosions was endless, shaking the entire space. Those near the fore were affected by the battle.
Wait, how did he manage to survive so long under the three larvas' attacks? It seems like he's much stronger than Elijah White. Which region is Zane Martell from? Is he from a super region? It's best if someone with his strength and physique becomes my puppet.
Carter Brown smirked, watching the sight. From his point of view, everyone present, including Zane Martell, was struggling to no avail as they would sooner or later become his nourishment. However, the next moment, Carter Brown tensed up, his eyes almost popping out of their sockets. Zane Martell finally grew irritated. His hands slammed heavily on his chest as he let out a furious roar. With the rapid circulation of the blood vessels in his body, Zane Martell's body began to accelerate at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then he transformed into a 50-meter-tall Ghost King Dragon Ape. The power of the Ghost King Dragon Ape was terrifying. It was like an ancient devil, the blood skull pattern on its back and the vertical pupils between the eyebrows made it look extremely frightening and eerie. The attacks of the top three fell heavily on the Ghost King Dragon Ape's body but caused no damage. Zane Martel, now towering over his foes, felt a surge of primal power course through him. His roars reverberated, shaking the very foundations of the cavern. The transformation not only amplified his strength but also sharpened his instincts, making him a nearly invincible force.
You thought you could control me? Think again.
With a swift and powerful motion, Zane swiped at Adam Carlson, sending him flying into the stone wall. Atkinson Green and Iris Smith attacked simultaneously, but their efforts were futile against the Ghost King Dragon Ape's impenetrable defense. Carter Brown's confidence wavered, his mocking smile faltering as he witnessed the sheer might of Zane's transformation.
This wasn't supposed to happen. How is he so powerful?
The Ghost King Dragon Ape suddenly clenched its fist, covered in black fur, and hurled itself at Atkinson Green. Despite its massive size, the Ghost King Dragon Ape moved with surprising agility, its arms streaking through the air like black lightning. Atkinson Green's expression remained unchanged, but his muscles tensed. He struck out with a huge yellow fist shadow. The yellow fist shadow shattered upon impact, crushed like a piece of tofu. The Ghost King Dragon Ape's fist smashed through and sent Atkinson Green crashing into the hard stone wall. The wall caved in, cracks splintering outward. Inside, Atkinson Green's body was pulverized, turning into a pool of flesh and blood. Atkinson Green, the strongest top martial artist in the mad fighting region, and one of the top three of the Talents Alliance, was killed by Zane Martel with a single punch.
What? How is that possible?
Carter Brown leaped, his face twitching in disbelief. Atkinson Green, renowned for his physical strength, couldn't even withstand a single blow from Zane Martel. The others stood dumbfounded. Without hesitation, Zane Martel moved on. He stretched his limbs and with swift punches and kicks, he dispatched Adam Carlson and Iris Smith. The two talents fell with a cracking sound, dead.
Dead, they died.
Is he Zane Martel? Since when did the Tranquil City region have someone so powerful besides Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon?
The crowd turned pale with fright, then thrill. The stronger Zane Martel was, the better their chances of escaping Carter Brown's grasp.
Damn it! How dare you destroy 3 hard-earned bodies of mine? Zane Martel, right? Sure, I'll not let you get away with this.
Carter Brown's killing intent spilled out as he stretched his hands, wind swirling wildly around him, his features twisted in anger. He coldly patted the soul-devouring insect under his feet and gave the order. The cavern reverberated with the furious command of Carter Brown, his voice echoing like thunder in the confined space.
Soul-devouring insect, devour everyone, especially that Zane Martel. Kill him! He destroyed all 3 of my hard-earned bodies. Ah! I'm so mad! I want him dead!
The soul-devouring insect, a monstrous aberration fueled by Carter Brown's rage, quivered and then surged forward. Its massive form undulated as it barreled through the battlefield, its crimson hide gleaming with a sickly sheen. The cavern walls seemed to shudder in response to its approach, the ground beneath cracking under its weight. Its gaping maw, lined with rows of jagged teeth, opened wide in anticipation, ready to consume and destroy.
Humph, sure, come at me. I'm not afraid of you, or I won't be called Zane Martel. Ghost King Cannon.
Zane Martel's eyes blazed with defiance amidst the chaos surrounding him. His massive form, now transformed into the Ghost King Dragon Ape, pulsed with raw power. His fists clenched, muscles tensed, as he drew upon the primal energy coursing through his veins. The air crackled with anticipation, swirling around him like a tempest gathering its strength. With a thunderous roar that shook the very foundations of the cavern, Ghost King Dragon Ape erupted from Zane Martel's throat. A torrent of pure energy surged forth, an incandescent beam of power aimed directly at the oncoming horror of the soul-devouring insect. The collision was cataclysmic. Ghost King Dragon Ape tore through the air with ferocious intensity, a brilliant lance of light piercing the darkness. The insect's monstrous form was engulfed in the searing blast, its hideous shriek reverberating through the cavern as it struggled against the onslaught.